Hi, everybody. It is
Hola.
Friday, April 11th, 2025. We are here tonight to celebrate 30 years of a goofy movie.
Oh,
Gosh, I can't believe it's been about 30 years since this happened.
I
I was,
know.
I was 4 years old when I saw it in the movie theater.
I think I watched it like in my kindergarten class for the first time.
Like, notes, like, just straight up. It's like, okay, here's the VHS. Here you go.
Well, something we had to do. We all sit on the little freaking mat while it's raining outside. Nothing else better to do. I remember watching fucking Little Rascals too.
Oh, God, that movie. That's going to have a 30th anniversary coming up, too.
I
Yeah.
feel fucking old, dude.
Hold on, let me look up when did that movie come out? Well, we're also waiting for Sylph because Sylph forgot to walk the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Considering they were like, "Oh, I'm on time today," and then it's like the dogs,
Yeah, they were
doggies.
they were like, "Oh shit, I forgot to walk Lola and Chowder."
1994. It already had its 30th anniversary. Actually,
Oh,
it's got a
It's funny.
21% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was that bad, according to people.
I actually liked it. It was like my
As
introduction
a
to
kid,
Rascals.
and then he realized how racist it was, and it's like, ugh. Especially the TV show.
Dude, I've been watching a lot of fucking old shit lately. Yeah.
Oh,
oh fuck!
hey,
My dumbass forgot to I forgot I was gonna do like a bit of a Google search, and I forgot I'm just using the actual one, but not the one that uses the tab.
Did you
that
enjoy that
happens.
video I sent you, Joey?
The what?
Did you enjoy the video I sent you of the voice actors recreating that scene?
I was gonna wait until tonight to watch it
Okay.
because I think it would be great. Like till after the show's over, like we all just sit and watch it and be like, "What the fuck?"
Well, I already seen it, so there you go.
Yeah. Well, the thing is with this movie is that it was the first movie I saw in the theaters. Actually, my mom took me, and I know exactly which theater it was too. I could even tell you the exact auditorium it was. Auditorium 3. I mean, it's like, I grew up with Disney all my life, but I had never heard of Goofy. I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea who Goofy was, and I was too young to watch the show that it was based on.
Yeah.
Because Max was a lot younger, and the Goof Troop video game did not come out on the Super Nintendo um, until around that time, I want to say.
Yeah.
Uh, so it took me a few years to finally get into that game on the Super Nintendo, but God, was that game hard. So I was like, gosh, how do you go about doing that? So we'll just go over the entire movie. What do you say? We just like try to
Uh,
remember certain things about it. I have a
Dude,
vivid
all I
memory of the
hear,
entire movie.
what's been in my head all fucking day was that one Powerline song, Eye to Eye, and I wish that fucker would just die already in my head.
Wait, who's Powerline even based off of?
I don't know.
All right, time to look this up.
I know Trevin Campbell sings for him, but I'm not. Maybe he's supposed to be like a modern day representation of like Elvis, I guess.
That was nothing like Elvis.
A modern day back in the day. Hell, he could
I
be
was I always thought it was Prince. Oh, it is Prince. It's a
okay.
combination of Michael Jackson, Prince, and Bobby Brown. If anyone doesn't know who Bobby Brown is, was a I think it was an R&B singer
Yeah,
in the
he
early
was with the.
90s.
Yeah, he was with New Edition back in the day. And then he went solo, married Whitney Houston. Both got on drugs really bad together. Blah blah blah.
And that's where the "Show Me the Receipts" line came from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so before we get to Powerline, actually, let's talk about let's go over the movie like scene by scene, and we'll just reminisce about some of that stuff.
Kit.
Uh, I'm trying to remember. Okay, the movie opens with like what was it? Max in like a cornfield
Yeah.
or a wheat field of some kind,
Yeah.
or flower field. I can't remember.
I just
Flower
remember
field. I
him
don't think
turning
about
into
Paper
his
Mario.
dad in this.
Yeah, because that's like the one thing he's insecure about. It's like because he has this crush on Roxanne, who, by the way, has been like whispering to him in his ears, like Max. He's like constantly going through the cornfields trying to find her, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, she just sits up there sexually, like blowing dandelions in his face.
Dude, this
At least I
girl
think
is
it was
like
him.
14 years old. Come on.
Yep, they completely sexualized her.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all because, like, okay, it's a teenage boy having a crush on like the hottest girl in the school,
Right.
but still, sexually, she's like, I'm gonna blow this dandelion right in your face, and then I'm gonna jump right in your arms, and then we're gonna
Do you know
like,
what that scene? Do you know what that scene kind of reminds me of?
What?
One of the.
what?
Do you remember that scene from like the first Nutty?
The first Nutty Professor? I never saw the first Nutty Professor. I only saw the sequel.
Wait. What are we watching? We're talking about the remake or the original with what's his name?
Jerry Lewis.
Yeah. Because I've never seen that version.
No, me neither. I only know the Nutty Professor from Eddie Murphy.
Right. Me too.
I was referring to the one with the scene where Sherman actually gets that daydream and like him and Carla on the beach.
Yeah.
That's what I was referring to. The one with him and Carla on the beach in the daydream.
Dude, I would like to know what happened to Carla for the second movie.
Have you never seen the second movie?
I've seen the second movie. Carla's just disappeared. They replaced it with Janet Jackson.
Oh, didn't Sherman say that he and Carla are just friends after that whole ordeal?
Oh. I would too if I fell in love with the alter ego.
That was before, yeah. That was brought up though after the two of them had their little talk. That they're finding out that Sherman's with Denise,
Mm-hmm.
played by Janet Jackson.
All right. Well, anyway, yeah. So they like are laughing all about on the. I want to say flowers. I keep thinking flowers, but maybe that's because I have Paper Mario on the brain. But they're rummaging around in the flowers. They're laughing like, "Oh, it's so great! They're in love with each other." And then Max turns into his dad in like a horror movie sequence. Because one thing about Max, he is insecure as fuck about his dad. He thinks his dad is so weird, and everybody compares him to his dad. And he's like, "Oh, it's Goof Jr. It's the Goof Boy." And he feels like Roxanne will never like him because he's Goofy's son. Has no reason to believe that other than his own insecurities.
Dude,
Doesn't even
14,
talk
he's
to him.
stupid.
I wouldn't go that far.
Dude, he's fucking insecure. He just got into puberty. He has to worry about turning into his dad. Of course.
Yeah, so he wakes up from that nightmare with everything still in place. And it turns out that he is going to be hijacking I want to say school assembly or whatever they do at the last day of school, and he's going to turn it into a Powerline concert.
Yeah, assembly.
Because because his friend PJ calls him, who's Pete's son, who, if you had never played the Goof Troop video game, they get captured by pirates, and Goofy and Max have to save them. So he's indebted to Max for eternity. So, like, PJ's always worried, but, like, PJ's the type of guy that's like, oh no, if my dad finds out I'm doing this, he's going to ruin my entire existence. So, like, that's the one thing he's worried about. They have another friend named Bobby that's helping him out, who's played by Pauly Shore, probably the only good thing Pauly Shore's ever done.
Leaning Tower of Cheesa.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a second.
But
But no, he's like Max is like, no, we're doing this. It's now or never. And but PJ's like, I don't want to do this. Dad's gonna find out about it. Uh, and so like he's rummaging because he's late. He's late on the day that he's preparing this big takeover. And he's like, "Oh no!" And of course, Goofy walks in, going, "Morning, son!" And he's trying to put on his pants. It's like, "Oops, I forgot." And it's supposed to
Bro.
be.
That is because he was just got out of the shower too.
Yeah, he just got out of the shower too.
Fucking face Goofy makes when Max gets embarrassed.
Oops, I forgot. And yeah, and so of course he's like trying to get away from his dad. It's like, "Dad, okay, clean the room, clean the room." It's like, "Max, supposed to clean your room." No, I don't listen to that Jordan Peterson shit, Dad. Oh, come on, Max. He wasn't even around at that time. And he also destroys his Powerline stand-up poster.
I would so.
You would do that intentionally.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, and we should also say the Goofy movie is a musical at the same time.
Yeah.
Because yeah, he gets into like a song sequence after he's like there are people that drive by and they watch Goofy kiss him. It's like, "Have a good day. Here's your lunch." and then he sings about how he's like, "Oh, they've been laughing at me for a long time, but they're not going to laugh anymore. I'm not going to be called Goof of the Week. No one's going to call me a loser. I'm going to do this big concert, and Roxanne is going to notice me, and she's going to be my girlfriend."
I got a secret for you, Max. You are going to end up acting like your parents, regardless of what you want.
It's like, I am not going to be good. I'm not going to be my father. And of course, he stumbles when he gets to school. Everyone laughs at him. Roxanne is the only one that doesn't. Offers to help him up, and as soon as he sees her, he's like, "Da da da da, what crush, woman crush. Oh God!" And she laughs nervously. He's like, "Who is this motherfucker?" Like stammering above his words. And then, of course, he does the Goofy laugh, and then he immediately runs away in embarrassment. He's like, "I can't believe I did that. She finally says hi to me, and what do? I choke. Yuck."
Yo.
So they're about to get ready, and then PJ's like, "Oh, my dad finds about this will kill me. Do we have to do this?" "Yes, Peach, we have to do this. To Roxanne, I'm a nobody, but after this concert, I will be like a god." And that's where we meet Bobby, which is who, again, played by Pauly Shore. And he's drinking from the water fountain, and he's got all of this like TV equipment and all this lighting equipment, and he's setting everything up for him. Basically, he's practically the crew of this like 3-person setup. Yeah. I have no idea. Oh yeah, and yeah, Peach is the camera guy, and then obviously Max is the talent. But it's like he needs to be paid. Like Bobby's like, "I will not do this unless I'm paid." Well, the first time you see him, he's drinking from the water fountain. He's like, slurping.
Isn't that like he also was drinking the water out of a straw?
Yep, that too. And then as soon as he sees the cheese, he's like, "Shut up! Ow! Shut up, Lizzie!" Gouges the entire thing, and they're just watching in horror as he does it. I just wish that wasn't cheddar cheese. I wish it was Doritos cheese, because I would have done that with Doritos cheese. Or Cheetos.
I mean, they got that canned stuff, though, too, Joe.
It's not the same.
Bro.
I want the exact same, like, Cheese Whiz spray when I get it, when I have it.
And you mean like a replica of it?
No, like, I actually want to like have it in, like, I want to shake it up and just like
spray. Oh, you're trying to spray it, like, you know, like that string stuff you get out of the can.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna be fun at like friggin' parties, dude.
Listen, it's Dorito and Cheetos cheese. You can't go wrong with that stuff.
You're gonna mix them both. I thought.
Why
And
not?
here, I thought you were against using food for that type of shit.
I'm not putting it on food. I'm literally doing it like Bobby is. I'm like whizzing it in my mouth.
Yeah, he's not going to use it in the bedroom.
I didn't even hear that. What did you say?
I said it's not like he's going to use it in the bedroom. Implying
No.
that you're going to use it for sexual.
Yeah, what a waste of food. I always tell that to people that do sex scenes like that. It's like, what a waste of food. Just wait till after the scene is over and then you can eat. All right, and so it's like, okay, they get ready to do it, and then, oh yeah, also Roxanne's friend is up there. It's like, yo, Stacy, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, baby.
Oh, God.
Somebody's catcalling her in the crowd, but like that one friend that is always like the talker of the group,
Crap.
and is very rich.
Yeah.
And so she's the one that like is planning a pay-per-view party to watch the Powerline concert. And she invites pretty much everybody from high school to go. I'm like, can you fit that many people? You must be that fucking rich if you have a mansion that big.
Dude, it looked like she had a small-ass place.
It did, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But apparently she was inviting everybody. So, like, how can you fit over, like, hundreds of people in the school?
And look at the fucking TV size. It was that small.
The 90s for you.
Yeah, but they had big screen TVs back in the day.
They did, but you'd have to be, like, extremely rich to not to invent it, but to own it. Which would make sense for her, but apparently not.
Screen TV, but they had to, like, pay monthly on that shit.
Yep. Just like Notorious B.I.G. said, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. If I didn't have enough, I can only afford one if I didn't have money. But now that I have money, I can afford both. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then the principal, who's played by the guy who voiced Rex in Toy Story. He comes out, no applause for him. He's just like crickets. And then he's trying to get people. He's trying to get people to like still do schoolwork during the summer.
Fuck you, dude. It's vacation.
Yeah, it's like, what can we do to not waste our summer vacation? I had students come up to me and tell me, it's like, we don't want to have sleepovers or visit friends during the summertime. And he finally gets shut down by the trio that are about to take over. He falls down a fucking trap door. Like, I'm like, how did they set that up? I always question that. Like, the school always had a trap door?
I guess for like plays and shit.
Oh, that would be something. And they just kept the trapdoor there from a previous play. And then Pauly Shore just happened to take advantage of it, which was great.
Right.
And the concert almost goes bad because he crashes through the screen, which I think was unintentional.
Yeah.
And then everybody thinks it's him, like it's Powerline. And he's just standing there in the crowd going, oh my God, they're all cheering for me, even though I am not Powerline.
Yeah.
The thrill of it is amazing. And then, of course, he goes straight up to Roxanne during the song. And I was like, well, let me try to seduce her in any way I can as this Powerline person. And then they do the whole, like, oh, he's wrapped up in rope and he's flying through the stage, which is really dangerous because remember that fucking Spider-Man Broadway show where the actor who played him, like, crashed in the middle of a performance? Like, that's dangerous, dude.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how the principal was able to get out of the trap door and to get right back up to the stage to stop the whole party. I was like, what a...
It's called cartoon logic.
Like, or something just makes me think he got so irritated he just like crawled through dirt like at Sonic speed. And it's just like, ugh.
Magic.
It's like you ruined my speech. I will destroy your concert.
Right.
So yeah, they get caught, and it's like we're busted.
Shut up, dude.
And everybody's like, "That was the Goof Kid," and Roxanne instantly is like, "Da dum da dum da dum." And then it cuts to like Goofy at work. Goofy works as a mall photographer, I want to say.
Yeah, that was the thing back in the day.
It's still a thing. I see it in like Targets and Walmart still.
I never see it
Even
here.
even Walgreens does it. I don't even know if you have a Walgreens where you are.
I do. I just don't have it
Okay.
at my Walgreens.
Okay. And he's trying to get babies to smile for their pictures using rubber duckies.
Quack, quack, quack.
And then he accidentally swallows the sound that the rubber duckies make, and then he's able to get the baby to like do it because it's like, oh. Oh yeah, and he also works with Pete, PJ's dad,
Ugh.
who's also voiced by the infamous Jim Cummings, who did like Winnie the Pooh and has done many other voices, even Cat from Cat Dog, and is also in the Kingdom Hearts games. If you ever played those games.
Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, and then Pete tries to handle like a 3-year-old kid and like kicks him in the shin, topples his head, um, and then tries to play peekaboo with him, and then finally grabs her, and then takes some sticky paper, puts it on the thing, and it just makes her sit down in it so she can't get up. And then like Goofy offers her a teddy bear, and then he instantly just takes the teddy bear away, and the 3-year-old cries. All the while they're conversating about their own kids.
Aw.
Goofy's like, "Oh, you're sure good with kids. Yeah, well, kids love me." Meanwhile, the 3-year-old is like trying to get out of his clutches. I was about to say crutches. I'm like, wait a minute, he's not.
But wasn't that kid a girl?
It
Yeah.
was, yes.
You said him.
No, I was talking about Pete.
Now you're. Oh, I see. You were talking because you're. Yeah, I get that. I mean, that
But
kid.
yeah, no, he's done.
That's
Oh,
what
go ahead.
that kid. That kid sounds like that. She's up in her terrible threes, apparently. Cause
Terrible twos, if you want to go that
Yeah,
far.
terrible twos.
I know I felt that because my stepsister, she just hit her terrible twos like a month ago. And,
Oh my god! So she's been going around the house going, "I am so great. I am so great. Everybody loves me. I am so great."
no, she hasn't. She's been kind of delayed, and she hasn't fully said words yet.
Okay.
Wait till she gets in that it's my stage.
I think she's I guess you could say she's like their speech has been sounds like it's a little delayed.
Oh, sorry. Just looking at a message. Well, in the meantime, while they're talking about this, like Pete is talking about, "Oh, I'm going to take PJ camping because it's going to be father-son quantity time," as a Hey Arnold joke right there. And it's like, "Oh, Max would never be down for a vacation like that, Pete." It was like, "Oh, come on. You have no idea what these kids are like. They're going to be running around with gangs and stealing stuff and causing riots," which is a little bit of foreshadowing. I was like, "Oh, yeah, because if you don't take your kids out on vacation during the summer, they're going to end up winding up in the NWA. Saying, fuck the police." And actually, no, they were disbanded by the time like the movie came out. Yeah, they disbanded 3 years before the movie came
When the hell
out.
did the
So-
E die?
95.
So it's probably around this time.
Yeah, well, he was diagnosed with AIDS, I believe, in 93, and then he was like around for like 2 more years before he died. But
How he died
I was gonna say
according to what
probably Death Row Records would have been more accurate. because that's around the time that Dre and Snoop were becoming huge. Tupac was just around the corner. So it's like, yeah, you're going to end up like those guys. But it's like, but yeah, those guys make money. But it's like, nope, I'm the older generation and I say gang's bad. And it's like, they're not even in a gang. They're just rappers. That's like, rappers are gangs. Oh, God, I still remember like watching documentaries where they were talking about like rap stars just being gangsters and, yeah, you know, just doing all that stuff. And that's where Pete's fear comes from, if anything. And Goofy's like, oh, Max would never join up with Tupac. Can you imagine Max and Tupac together? I don't want to believe that.
Well, if you look at it, Goofy is the equivalent of a black human.
Yes.
So
that's why a lot of the
Pete's getting from.
Yeah, and also like a lot of black kids grew up have said that the Goofy movie is a black movie in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I didn't want to overstep when I said that.
Yeah, no. What was it? And oh yeah, because like, oh, Max would never be a bad kid, and then it just cuts to him waiting outside the principal's office, ready to be punished on the last day of school.
Dude, and
all
it's
the while,
you know, it's funny that the secretary was actually humming like the funeral march, dude.
Dog, 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 dog.
Well, he was typing it up too, dude.
And all the while, Max is just sitting there. It's like, I'm a failure. I'm a loser. My one chance to impress Roxanne, and I blew it. Meanwhile, Pauly Shore is like, look, Max, it's the Leaning Tower of Giza.
And then he just like devours it.
All in his mouth. Meanwhile, Peach comes out of the principal's office like, my dad is gonna squash me like a bug. By the way, I should also say PJ is voiced by Rob Paulsen, who would play Carl Weezer in Jimmy Neutron, and several, or I can't remember which Animaniac he played. But he played the main one and did the infamous World song that everybody knows.
Is it Yakko?
Whoever did the World song for the Animaniacs.
Yakko. Yakko is the older one. The middle one is Wacko, and the youngest is Dot.
Yep, that's the guy. That's the guy who voiced him.
I'm telling you, every time we do something, it always leads back to fucking Jimmy Neutron somehow. That motherfucker.
Well, even I had problems with Jimmy Neutron. I tried watching that show with Mike's, and I'm just like, this makes no goddamn sense. By God, you didn't end up like that kid. He might be a genius, but he's a fool and a loser. So I'm not a loser, Dad? No. At least you got a hot girl. He ended up with Cindy Vortex. What, she's not hot? She's a child, Max. But so is Roxanne. Oh, I'm ending this conversation right now, Max.
Confirmed. Goofy's a pedophile.
No.
Oh, come on, man.
He married Sylvia in the second movie.
And she disappeared in fucking Disney lore like Roxanne did.
Yep. Unless, of course, you go online and you look up like a 10-year-old article where it showed like, where are Goofy and Max now 10 years later? And it showed like Max all beefed out and he married Roxanne and had a kid with her. And he looks like one of those millennial dads that eats avocado toast.
Bro.
Dude, showed him with another girl like from college in like one of those like Once Upon a Time Mickey movies, I think.
Well, while Pauly Shore is talking to the principal, by the way, I love his interest. Like, hey, Maze, what's up, bro?
All right. All right.
We know this guy's been in detention too many times.
Yep, he's just like, hey.
Little bit of the bonds in him.
He's even telling PJ, it's like, hey, PJ, it's detention. Meanwhile, while Max has his hands in his face, that one best friend that Roxanne has that's like the talker that invited everybody, she's like talking about...
Stacy?
Oh, she's... Is that her name?
I think that's her name, Stacy.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
Stacy's like talking about what the theme of the party is going to be, and she's like, "Powerline goes rainforest." I'm like, "Oh boy, it's going to be a Brazilian party," which I don't know if you've ever been to a Brazilian party, but they get down. And then she tries to convince Roxanne to like go up to him. You've been staring at him for the past 5 minutes.
What a wing woman.
Yes. Oh, there's the cat.
Fucking Blossom's, you know, the TV show Blossom's best friend.
Yeah.
6.
Oh no.
Oh, and Sylph comes in. Mooney gets kicked out.
Oh Lord.
Meow.
But
What we having, Sylph?
What?
What we
What are
having
you
for
eating?
dinner?
I don't know what to call this. I took some ground beef, mixed in some red pepper and broccoli, put it in like a pie crust, and then
Hey there. It turns out I was right. I looked it up, and that friend's name is Stacy.
oh, is that why you got kicked off? Stacy was like, "No, you're gonna find out my name when we come back on the stream."
Stacey's mom has got it going on.
Yeah, because Roxanne's been like staring at Max like with his hands in his face for like 5 minutes, and Stacy's like, "Okay, just talk to him," and she doesn't know how to talk to a guy. So they don't know how to talk to each other, which is already a bad start. Because as soon as like she gets Max's attention, like all the papers in her hand fly away. Like if you were to watch it in slow motion, it would be like taps him on the head. He goes, "Oh my god!" And then they just stare at each other with like smiles on their face, like I don't know what to say. And then they do that thing where they're trying to grab the papers on the floor and their hands end up touching.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, hand touch. What do I do? What do I do? And then they're nervously talking to each other. It's like, she's like, I liked your dance. Like, oh, yeah, I'm a Powerline fan. Yeah, I know, I'm a fan too. Yeah, he's doing a concert in LA. Yeah, they're having a party about it. Uh-huh. Okay. So it's like that kind of thing. There's like tension in the air. Finally, like Max is like, look, I was thinking that maybe I could ask you to maybe go with me to this party. Maybe if you don't want to, I understand. And then she's like, well, I was kind of thinking that I would probably want to say, yes. And then they're like, oh, yay, 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 yay. And they don't know how to get out of the conversation. Like, they seem so uncomfortable just being there. It's like sexual tension rising.
Oh, teenage hormones.
Yeah, and Stacy has to be like the wing woman and like, okay, Roxanne, don't leave the conversation hanging. Get the fuck out of here. Like, apparently Stacy's been trying to get Roxanne to ask Max out, and she's like, just make it, and it almost makes it sound like she was like, saying like, okay, just go up to him, say yes, and then just go. But it says it's like, It's like, so get the fuck out, Roxanne. And then finally he's like, I'll call you later. Which was the way that they ended the trailer for the movie, if anyone's ever saw the trailer for it. But the thing is, like, they didn't exchange numbers. So I'm like, how's he going to call her later?
I know, right?
Maybe it's just like a one-line thing that he thought would make him look cool. Because Roxanne is just like, okay, bye. Bye. And then finally, as she,
later on, he knows where the fuck she lives.
yeah, and how did he know that? Well, we'll get to that in a second. But eventually, after she leaves and is like out of her sight, like Max is like, yes, she said yes, which is almost like every incel's dream to have a woman say yes to them. Not to say that Max is an incel; he's just a teenage boy, but he's just like jumping up and down and does the exact same dance his dad did in his room before he left for school. He's like, everybody mambo! Which is something that I did after I celebrated a victory. Like I remember like I won a contest or something, and that's exactly what I did when I won.
But doesn't it almost give you the similar vibe like from that episode of The Simpsons where Bart actually got a D plus and is like yelling,
Yeah.
"I got a D minus, I passed."
I passed! I kissed the teacher! Oh god, now I'm just picturing like, yes! I got a D minus, let's dance! Da, 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 da. And just starts dancing with poor Bopple. Although in Max's case, he was dancing with the secretary.
Let's dance.
So after all the dancing ends, the principal calls Goofy, and the way he calls him, it's almost like Principal Skinner meme, where the blinds are closed and it's like all dark and everything, and
Yeah.
he's like going through trauma as Skinner always does. But it's like, I'm calling about your son, Maximilian. And then he goes through this whole process of like telling him like, your son caused an entire student body to break out in a riotous frenzy because he's a gang member. Everything that Pete told him was going to happen ends up happening, at least in the principal's point of view. If you were to ask Max, he's like, no, I just put on a concert for all the kids in the school. But he's like, if I were you, Mr. Goof, I would seriously think about disciplining your child before he ends up in the electric chair, and then just hangs up the phone.
Holy fuck.
Yeah,
More
like
dramatic
completely
one.
traumatizes Goofy in that moment. Because now Goofy is like, oh my god, he's gonna die? He's gonna get the death penalty? Made it seem like he was going to prison. But he wasn't going to prison. And he just put all that fear into him, like, your son caused an incident that's gonna lead up to that point. So Goofy's like, what am I fucking gonna do now? And all of a sudden, the blue light from God up ahead.
Blue light
up
special
above.
on aisle 3. Blue light
Yep.
special on aisle 3.
Oh, that's
Yep,
a
because
Kmart.
he works in Kmart. So the blue light of the Kmart God shines upon Goofy, and he looks at a little toy, and it reminds him of his days when his father used to take him fishing in Idaho at Lake Destiny. So he comes up with this plan in his head, like, I'll take my son to Lake Destiny. That will set him straight.
To me, isn't it like a friggin' bobblehead of a fisherman?
Yes.
Yep. Meanwhile, Max gets out of school. Everybody's coming up to him, telling him how great he is. There's even like a woman or like this like cheerleader that goes up to him, is like, "Oh, you are so manly," or something like. It's like Wicked Pants.
And then Stacy's like,
And-
back off. He's Roxanne's.
Yep, it's like, nope, that's her woman. That's his woman.
That's her. That's her man.
Meanwhile, PJ's all excited after being so nervous about the entire goddamn thing. He's like, "What? Oh, Max! I just saw you last out, Roxanne!"
And then he jumps
It's
up
just
on
like-
him.
Yeah, and gives him a noogie, like this is Bobby's world.
And then
He's like,
everybody's like,
see, I told you it would work. I was like, dude, you were complaining the whole time that it was going to fail. Now that it was a success, now you're taking like, yes, I told you.
and then gets everybody to chant his name.
I was like, Max. And I'm like, no. I was like, wait a minute, guys, hold on. Don't be cheering the streaming service. But then they end up doing it anyway. It's like, Max. I'm surprised. Only if it wasn't Disney. You know, the people over at HBO or Warner Brothers Discovery could have used that as a way to promote Max, the streaming service. But no, they couldn't own it. But it was such a wasted opportunity. But he walks away from all the chants being like, yeah, I'm the coolest kid in the school.
Well, Stand Out starts fucking playing in the background.
Yep. We can't sing on here because Disney will copyright us.
Yeah.
But he gets to do all these Tony Hawk Pro Skater moves before Tony Hawk Pro Skater even came out, and before we knew what Superman was, the song. So Goofy's like packing up in the car as soon as he gets home, and he's like, I was like, oh, you're going on vacation by yourself? Like, nope, I'm going on vacation with my best buddy. Ooh, Donald Duck? I'm like, no, Kingdom Hearts doesn't come out for another 7 years. But he's like, no, I'm taking you. And then Max immediately faints on the ground. Because he just realized his hopes and dreams of dating Roxanne are over. Everything that he had worked up to at this point, having the big concert, asking the hottest girl in the school out, all gone because his dad wants to take him on summer vacation. to Lake Destiny in Idaho, which I don't even know what state they live in, but apparently it would take them weeks to get there. And he like explains like to Max, listen, we're gonna take the same route me and my dad used.
Like California or something like that, aren't they?
Well, no, that's where the concert is. The concert that Powerline is going to be is in Los Angeles, but they're headed, but they live east of it.
Maybe some type of place like Chicago or Detroit.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So I live in Chicago, where I can get a fish pizza, or I could go to Detroit and I can get the square pizza that Detroit has. Which
Why
one do
don't
I
you look
think
it
is
up
right?
where the fuck Goofy was from?
They never specified.
All right, let's look this up. I am looking this up right now.
Because it has to be a major city with that type of highway and shit. When I
Maybe
say
95. Goofy's hometown is Jacksonville, Oregon.
yeah, but they're already across the fucking state.
Okay, I'm not believing that one. Goofy is canonically from Ohio, specifically the Columbus area.
Okay, I can believe that.
Makes sense. Okay, now I'm getting Oh, apparently it's also Washington. Oh wait, no, that's the voice actor. Okay, Goofy and Max are from the fictional town of Spoonerville?
What?
Oh god, I would hate to be in that town. Okay. There's even a thing, it's like, is Goofy from Ohio? Yeah, Spoonville is located in Ohio and in Delaware County. Okay, so apparently we'll just say Ohio, okay?
What makes sense for this movie? If there
It kind of makes sense too, because the if you go to Cleveland, then in Ohio, the mascot of the football team is a dog. But if you go to Cincinnati, it's a tiger. And that's where they have the most disgusting dish that I ever had. You know what Cincinnati does? They have Skyline chili. It's basically, what it is it's spaghetti with chili sauce. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever eaten in my entire life.
Spoonerville is named after layout artist J. Michael Spooner, who designed many of the town background layouts seen in a Goof Troop.
Yeah. So, Goofy decides that he's going to follow the exact same route that him and his dad took when he was a kid. And he's got the exact same map, too. Now, if I had a picture of that map, we could probably find out exactly where he lives.
Somebody get on that.
But Max is not for this. Max is like trying to get out of this. He's like, listen, I'm going to this party with a girl. He's like, oh, you'll go to parties when you're older, Maxie. And by the way, Goofy is not even really listening to what Max is saying. Max is like saying no, and he's like, no, we're going. No, come on. Nope. And trying to slam the door every time he says no. It's like, Goofy, you're breaking Max's boundaries.
Yeah.
He has literally just told you no, and you just keep breaking it because in your mind it's like, I got to protect my son from getting the death penalty. And even he tells him that, and Max is like, what the fuck are you talking about, Dad? He's like, I'm not giving up on you, son. Together, we're going to work this out. It's like, what are you fucking talking about? Like, Goofy has no idea, or Max has no idea what his father is telling him because Goofy's not taking the time to even explain it. He's like, nope, we're going, and that's final. Meanwhile, Max is like, I got to tell Roxanne that I can't go on the date. Or not, he doesn't actually say it like that. No, he's like, I have to talk to someone. Takes control of the wheel, and then it becomes Crazy Taxi.
Can I say that I love Roxanne's dad. How intimidating
Oh, yes.
he is.
He's just like this big, burly guy that just goes,
I mean, the dude is overprotective, so I
That's
mean,
what I love about him.
doesn't he seem like he almost has like the build of like somebody that was probably in like a biker gang, like Hell's Angels or something.
Oh, I would hate that to be the case. I would also like to say that he's probably a retired football player.
Probably. And
But going
that's
back
like,
to
think about it from that background. It's like, do you remember that meme? It's like, or it says, "Damn," like that scene where that meme was saying, "Damn, bitch, you live like this."
and we were talking about this before, but how is it that Max knows exactly where Roxanne lives?
Right?
Good question.
Guy's a
How
stalker.
close does he? How close, like, do they live? Could be a bus.
Oh my
route
god!
thing.
I just looked at the Goofy. I just looked at the Goofy movie map. They literally start in Ohio.
Okay.
All right, confirmation confirmed. Anyway, what was your question, Sylp? Sorry.
Like, do they? How close are the houses? Because it could be a bus route thing.
Okay, so let's see. So it took about. Okay. They pulled out of the driveway. I'm sorry, I'm just counting on my hands. I would say it took them about 10 seconds to get from his house to Roxanne's house.
But that's no cartoon logic.
But they happen to live in the same neighborhood.
But then, yeah, either he saw it on his way to school, or again, they were dropped off of the same route.
Oh God, you mean to tell me that Max was stalking Roxanne where she lived?
That's what I'm saying.
Not so much, more of like, oh hey,
I mean,
like,
he was like, I know your
no,
number.
like,
I mean,
oh hey, you get off the bus before me. I don't know.
But I do have this caveat too. He goes up to there and he's like, "Does Roxanne live here? Does she even live on this block?" And she just happens to pop up behind the father. And the first words out of her mouth was, "It's okay, Daddy. Max is a friend from school." And I was like, "Oh, Max just got friend zoned." So they're talking on the patio, and meanwhile, the dad is looking through the door like, "Daddy!"
I love the dad.
Yeah.
Even later at the end of the movie, you see him in like his towel and like the shower stuff, like exactly the way that Goofy wears in the
The
beginning.
shower
of the movie.
cap.
Yep, the shower cap too. No, but Max has to tell her, like, listen, I was looking forward to it. And as soon as he said was, like, she gets like, oh, don't worry about it. It's just a dumb party. And Max is trying to explain to her why he can't take her. But she's not listening to him. He just tries to brush it off like, oh, yeah, I understand. I'll find somebody else to go with. Like, he's like trying to explain to her, listen, my dad is trying to get me to do this father-son bonding field trip. And she's not bothering to listen to the whole thing. Like, he has a legitimate reason why he's not going. Like, he's stuck going on this vacation. So I wish that Roxanne would have at least heard him out on it, because I don't think it's fair, like, when somebody cancels a date. Like, if they have a legitimate reason, and it's like, listen, we can try to reschedule and try to do another date, but because the circumstances were so wild, probably in Roxanne's mind, it's like, and I'm not trying to defend her actions on this. I'm just trying to explain why I think she did this. Roxanne, in a lot of ways, just saw a fantastic concert with somebody that she had a crush on, and now her crush is basically telling you, I don't think that you're worthy enough because I'm going on doing something else.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, of course, Max has a crush on her. They both have a crush on each other. They just don't know how to communicate properly. That's the problem with these two. I was talking about before with the sexual tension in the principal's office. And now here they are at the front of the stoop, and they can't even communicate properly. Great way to start a relationship, by the way. And then Max has to go even further he has to tell like this huge giant lie in order to try to convince her that he still thinks about her. And he has to say, like, my dad is taking me to the Powerline concert in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And at first she questions, like, it was like, oh, hold on, wait a second. Your dad is taking you from Ohio, where we live, all the way to California just to see a goddamn concert. And then he has to create an even bigger lie where he's like, oh, my dad knows Powerline. They used to play together in a band.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, she could easily look that up. I mean, everybody pretty much knows Powerline. Powerline probably would have been a single star immediately, unless, of course, he was in like some secret band that most fans didn't know about. But if you're a fan of like a
like early internet, you can't prove that shit.
Right.
Well, no, I mean, think about it. Pop stars were very huge with MTV and VH1. You would have to have thought that Powerline's history would have been covered on MTV, because you got to remember those Gen Xers back in the like what my sister's generation, like they grew up on MTV. They knew every pop artist. They knew everything. They knew all about their histories and stuff. I mean, hell, Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails, they knew his entire backstory while they were listening to like Downward Spiral album. Okay, and that album is fucked up. But they knew all about Trent Reznor, so they practically would know everything about Powerline's history before he became a huge star. So I'm like, why lie and run yourself into this lie? And she just believes it.
Think about it.
Thankfully for Max.
I mean, in a way, she's probably fallen for it because I'm trying to. Fuck, I can't even reason with this.
Well, here's why she likes him. Let's get into why they both like each other. Max did something that no other kid in that school was willing to do. Put on a fucking Powerline style show. Not only that, get the principal to go through a trapdoor, plan this entire thing out, put yourself out there in front of everybody. I mean, that's the thing about musical artists. They never show their vulnerable selves. They're always playing a character when they're out there performing. So
like
he had all of the, like we do, technically, yes. But what he did was he put on this entire performance. He showed charisma, he showed confidence, and people are attracted to those things. You notice how everybody in that school changed. They called him the goof kid. They bullied him. They made fun of him. But as soon as he did that concert, they were all his best friend.
Right.
After that. So as soon as you show off a side of your personality that is cool and is attractive, that's what got her attention. And also the fact that he was willing to flirt with her while he was up on stage. Now, the reason why Max likes her is because she's a hot girl and just wants to, go horny.
Yeah.
Because we don't even know the real reason why he's into Roxanne, because he never goes into detail about her. There's like nothing about her personality that he likes. There's nothing about anything that he describes. It's just like she's hot girl, and that's all I see. She's got more of a reason to have a crush on him.
Remember that scene from The Swan Princess with Odette asking Derek, is beauty all that matters to you? And then Derek is just like, what else is there?
Oh, God, yes, oh, God. Because they spent, like, the first 10 minutes of that movie explaining, like, their entire love thing. And then finally happens.
They're arranged marriage. It's an arranged marriage, really.
They hated each other growing up.
Yeah.
And then even the father was like, well, what else was there? And even
that's not the father. I think it's like a butler or something.
Something like that. But then, like, what was it? The mother of the bun's like, what do you mean what else was there? How can you be so goddamn foolish?
I mean, it's voiced by Sandy Duncan, mind you.
God, I haven't seen that movie in forever. Maybe that's another one we'll talk about. I barely remember it, though.
I saw that like 2 months ago just to refresh myself.
Yeah.
I mean, but the whole point of this is that Max has, like, the most physical, attractive reasons to like her. She has a legitimate reason to like him. He's like that nerdy kid that all of a sudden just showed off, like, the side of himself that he never usually sees. And then he's got to try to keep all these elaborate lies going so that she still keeps, so she keeps being interested in him. It's like, oh, you actually know. So you did a Powerline concert. Your dad happens to know him. Oh my God, you're like a fucking powerful person. Like, oh my God. Like, so she's attracted to all that. Even goes up and kisses him, which I'm like, oh no, you should have asked for consent first before you did that. Now he's gonna. Which, I mean, he consented to completely because he's been having fantasies about her kissing him. And it's just like, oh my God, that was the greatest thing in the world. Like he even like as soon as she kisses him, he walks down her porch and he's like, ha, 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 and then realizes he has to get out of it when she's like, "Oh, I'll see you on TV," and he's like, "Oh God, I am in deep shit." Because now he's got to come up with an elaborate way to get to Los Angeles to go to this concert.
Just to try to make himself be more believable.
Yep. And Goofy, I don't know why he decided to do this, but he's filming himself while driving.
Oh,
But hey,
first YouTuber.
No, here's the thing. I think it's like, do you remember those days when you have like those video cameras and like try to have them on VHSs just to go through for memory's sake? That's what Goofy's doing.
Home movies?
Home movies, yes.
And no, not the show.
The show, but still.
Hey, who would wee in my canteen?
Basically, for us, it's spaghetti time.
Yep, spaghetti time. But what was it? Yeah, you shouldn't even be doing that while you're driving either. I mean, you shouldn't be making home movies while you're doing that. So in order to pass, what?
Or at least say, "Hey, hold the camera, film me."
But Max is just like looking out the window, like, "Oh, woe is me! I got to go on this vacation, and I can't be with my hot date." So Goofy tries to cheer him up by playing a game called Man or Woman,
Oh Lord.
Oh no.
which did not age well.
Of course not. Especially in this day and age.
I mean, the way the game is played, it's not even that good of a game either, because if you just like, you have to ask the person man or woman, they're like, okay, I'm thinking of a man. And he's like, Walt Disney. And he's like, yeah, sure, whatever.
And of course, it's like a shout out, really. Also a fourth wall break.
And then, of course, like Max decides to turn on the radio and he's rocking out to heavy metal, I want to say.
Oh gosh. Is it? We don't know what that metal music is from, Did they
We
say
just know it's metal music.
my mother used to love metal back in, like, when she was growing up.
It's like those damn kids and their heavy metal. Because that's what he does. He's like, and then he turns on a song that they believe the voice actor is actually sang in like one of the Disney stuff. So I think there's a little bit of fourth wall. And then they're just going back and forth trying to do their music and everything. And then it just breaks the tape that's inside.
And it's like frying instead of like a hot frying pan.
Yeah, and then the radio's completely broken too. And he's like, oh, don't worry, Maxie. We'll just have to entertain ourselves. So it ends up turning into a musical number called On the Open Road.
Oh, God.
Where we see a cameo by Mickey.
Yes. And we see a bunch of wild people. We even see a cat lady with like 20,000 cats.
That's going to be us, guys.
Like the cat. Are you talking about very similar to like the cat lady from The Simpsons?
But no, she's weaving in and out of lanes, and then she goes so fast it leaves fire tracks like it's the DeLorean.
But is she also like a cat person? Because, the whole weird, goofy Pluto thing that they have going on in that universe.
I mean, she was weaving in and out of lanes trying to get around Goofy's car. He's like, look out, it's just now on the open road. And rides away.
You know what the fucked up part was with this and this hearse that drives by them and the body comes out like a zombie.
Yes, and then everybody starts doing a dancing number on the highway too,
on top of their cars.
I got no strings on me. I'm feeling fancy free. I was like, oh my God, what is going on with these people? It's just a highway. It's just a goddamn highway.
Or it didn't end up like at least it didn't end up like the highway scene from like Beavis and Butthead to America, where Beavis actually causes an actual wreck on the highway.
Gosh, Max, I just ate a cactus. I'm starting to freak out. It's kind of like a music video. Whoa, look what's going on here, Max. Why are all these devils around me? Whoa, fire, fire, fire.
quench your thirst. It's the quenchiest.
Now that would have been an interesting musical number if that happened in the Goofy movie.
What, a hallucination scene?
Yes, a hallucination scene with Rob Zombie playing in the background. Or I should say White Zombie, to be more accurate. It was the last song that White Zombie ever did.
Isn't that Rat Things, Suicide Tanks, and Cannibal Girls?
Yes. Now I got to listen to that song after the show. Anyway, so finally they stop singing, and then they go to Circus's favorite scene because it's like it's not completely. It's because everything they do there's no discrimination in this part of the country.
Not.
It's like, all right, let's do the jamboree. Yeah. Who's your favorite possum? Hey, Lester, ready to yodel? It's like going to a southern version of Chuck E. Cheese.
I know, right?
Meanwhile, Max is sitting there going, this is pathetic.
Does it also remind you? I think it reminds me of also like that one animatronics like scene from like the first episode of Daria, where about they're trying to raise her self-esteem, and then it's like, and Quinn's like, saying, the place with the singers. Boy, do I miss those songs. And that plays that one place. Freaking Daria.
But this one is like completely freaking wild because the animatronics start breaking in the middle of the song. Meanwhile, Goofy is like, yo! And Max is just like, oh my god, why are people into this shit?
Recently, I sent a clip to Joey of the actual actors of like Goofy and Max recreating that very scene right there we're describing.
Yeah, we'll watch it after the show's over. So finally the little show is over and Goofy goes to get tickets and Max is interacting with like the possum person in the costume.
Oh god.
It's like, hello, little buddy. Don't touch me.
Touch me.
I know, you need a big hug from Lester. Don't even think about it. And I was like, no. It's like, dude, you're breaking Max's boundaries. He told you don't touch him. And you're just like, let's go for a hug. Max had every right to take that guy's head and spin it around. And then he gives him a possum hat. And Goofy does like, let's go get a picture taken. And then the next thing you know, Goofy's hanging upside down. Everybody's laughing at him because he's hanging up and down like a possum. And he's like, let's get ready to shoot buzz with possums. Picture gets taken. The possum gets freaking wild and starts attacking Max because he's like frightened out of his mind. It's like the Dormouse from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh god.
And then Goofy thinks he's actually dancing. So then as soon as Max takes the possum out of his pants, like he starts spinning him around doing like a dance and like, Dad, stop, this is embarrassing. And they're all just laughing at him. It's like, it's Dork and Dork Jr. And so all of the trauma that Max had growing up at school, now it's happened to him in his summer vacation. And he's trying to get out of there. Also, Max is a rain god. Because as soon as Max gets to the parking lot, he hits the car window and a rain starts immediately falling.
Yeah.
So like, wow, I had no idea that Max has rain powers. He didn't even do a dance. So he tries to hitchhike out of there, and Goofy's like, Max, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I'm getting the fuck away from you, Dad. It's like, let's just get the fuck out of here. It's like, okay. Oh, by the way, you dropped your hat. And then he just like, and Max is like, this is the worst goddamn vacation I've ever done. You take me from goddamn Ohio to go to a fucking rat show. Fucking So they decide to stop at like a lake or something to get some the stuff in there to just relax and stuff. And it's like, hey Max, you want to get some fishing practice? Maybe later, Dad. Meanwhile, Pete comes in with this giant ass RV that just happens to have everything under the sun, like a bowling alley, a pool, a jacuzzi, a basketball court, just everything.
Things you
A
don't
big
need.
ass camper then.
Even better than the Hey Arnold one.
I was thinking more
Yes.
of like, it's very similar to like Tom Anderson's one from Do America. Check it out, Leila. I didn't know Anderson had a camper.
Meanwhile, PJ is too busy listening to Powerline and cleaning the inside of the RV, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm so jealous of you, Max. Even though you're jealous of my RV, but you're going to like a Powerline concert." I was like, "Wait a minute, how did you find out that I was going to the Powerline concert?" It's like everybody in town knows about it, man. You are gonna be famous, and Roxanne, I'm telling you, she's gonna marry you, and then she will fuck the ever loving crap out of you. At that point. But Max is guilty because, like, well, I still haven't told my dad yet that this is happening. Meanwhile, the fathers are talking, and Pete's like, what's wrong with your son? It's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know, Pete. Everything I do just drives Max further away. Maybe I should just back off. Maybe I should do exactly what my son says. And Pete's like, no, listen, you need to take your thumb and you need to squish your son like a bug. Or keep him under your thumb and then be able to like bowl him over like 10 pins.
I think he's like trying to say break his will.
Yep. And eventually Goofy does that. He's like, Maximilian, get your gear right now. We're going fishing. And I'm like, oh god, I hate to be that Animal Crossing character. Goofy having to interact with Dome. Anyway, Goofy is like, well, son, I'm going to teach you the perfect cast. I was like, what is that? It's something my father taught me. Okay, you got to be loose, relax, keep your feet apart, and 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. To all the lure to whisk over, I'm a little teapot, and then the wind up, and let it fly.
Did he like get a pizza out of it?
No, he got a steak out of it.
It
looks like a pizza, but that's when Bigfoot shows up, who's eating a log, and all of a sudden he sees this delicious steak, and and then all of a sudden Goofy reels in Bigfoot, and he's like, "Look, Max, we caught something," and he's trying to film this on camera too at the same time. Like, Goofy, reel in the fucking fish,
you fucking moron.
And gets it all on camera too. He's like, Dad, it's Bigfoot.
Oh, dude, they would have been famous if that was brought up on film.
My favorite part is Goofy telling Bigfoot to get out of the way.
Yeah, can you bike up, Mr. Bigfoot? You're out of focus.
I'm just saying, it's like they would have been famous about the sighting of Bigfoot.
Yeah, they even try to run away from him because they're like chasing him, and he's still filming while they're being chased.
You fucking idiot.
And he drops his camera on the ground. He's like, oh, get in the car. It's locked. Oh my god, we're in a horror movie situation. The cars won't open. The doors won't open. The engine won't start. So they have to go in through the sunroof. So they're like constantly like trying to window up the sunlock with like, remember those car windows where you had to manually do it with like the lever that spinned around?
The crank, yeah.
You had to like, hurry up, Dad! Hurry up, Dad!
Dude, hey, that sounds like a pretty weird version that's a weird version of the Blair Witch Project right there.
And that that Goofy movie came out before Blair Witch. So you can say that Blair Witch stole from a Goofy movie. As bad as those movies were. I'm sorry, I was not a fan of Blair Witch when it came out. I was like, this is the most boring thing. Nothing's happening. It's just a bunch of people just wandering around the forest because they're lost. It's so boring.
The Scooby-Doo version's better.
Yeah, of course it is. Not only does... Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Circus.
I was about to say, I love how Bigfoot was dancing to that song from Saturday Night.
Oh, we'll get to that. We'll get to that because there's several things
it's
that happen.
It's a Stay in the Land by the Bee Gees.
Yeah, we'll get to that. This Bigfoot, the first thing he does is when he can't get through the sunroof, he goes through all their stuff. The first
Like a
thing they say
bear.
is, "Oh my god!" It was like, "Oh my god, we got this on video. We're gonna be famous."
That was
And then
what
all
I
of
said
a sudden,
before.
but then Bigfoot takes all the film out of the camera.
God damn it.
Well, I guess I'll go
And then-
fuck myself.
Yep.
That's what we're saying. I guess we'll go fuck ourselves.
Gosh, I didn't know there were that many horny people on the screen. Anyway, so they try to get the keys to get out of there, but he just throws the keys away, Bigfoot does, because the keys were outside the car. And meanwhile, and also Bigfoot also does a puppet show with the socks. Because they're like, is he gone yet? And then Bigfoot's like doing the puppet show and then laughing in the face like, Bigfoot's a fucking troll.
Yes, he is.
Like, even Goofy's not amused by this. He's like, nope, he's still goddamn here. They start to get hungry, and all of a sudden, Bigfoot just like throws on the hood of the car alphabet soup. So Goofy's trying to sneak his arm in, trying to grab it, and then all of a sudden, like Bigfoot hears Goofy's hand going. He's like, "Dad, get the goddamn soup! He's coming!" And that's when, like, all of a sudden, like the Walkman like hits Bigfoot's ears, and then the Bee Gees start playing, and that's when he starts dancing. By the way. I had friends of mine that actually did the Bigfoot dance in a talent show when I was in elementary school. They came up with a whole routine and everything.
I love how fucking like the Goofy movie just turned into Cujo.
Yeah, he says, and Bigfoot just like knows how to dance too, which is even better.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, and this is ingenious. They use the cigarette lighter to light up the soup.
Mm-hmm.
Back when we used to have cigarette lighters in cars. And then they start reminiscing because Goofy talks about "Haw Dad soup" because that's what Max used to spell out whenever they would have alphabet soup. I was like, you used to spell out letters like "Hi Dad" or "Maxie" and even "I love you." And as soon as he said that, they stopped talking.
Oh.
No.
Like, awkward.
Well, it does get awkward because they want to be vulnerable with each other, but they can't because listen, Goofy had a great relationship with his father, and he talks about it all the time with Max. Max is just a completely different person than Goofy is.
Mm-hmm.
He's into different things. Goofy was into everything his father was into. That's why they always did things together. Goofy is thinking, well, if I do the same thing that my dad did with me, then Max would love this trip. But he's starting to find out it's not going down the way he wanted to because Max is just not into this stuff. But Max is starting to feel like, oh, here's my dad who's trying to connect with me. And I want to try to be vulnerable with him, but I can't because I'm just not good at this. I'm still a 14-year-old boy. So he communicates with him in the only way he knows how is to take the alphabet soup and then show it to his dad, and it just says, "Hi, Dad," right there. And Goofy starts crying. And this is all while Max is falling asleep in the car. And then also Bigfoot gets on the top of the car, and the snore fest begins between him and Goofy.
Oh, God.
If I had a picture of Max's face as he's watching his dad and Bigfoot snore the exact same way, it would be perfect. But I can't because I can't find that picture. Anyway, so Max decides that he's going to write a postcard to Roxanne. At first, he's like, at first he goes with the lie. I'm like, oh, we're going to this concert. Finally, he decides to tell the truth, and he's like, oh, sorry, I lied. I'm not really going to the concert. You'll never want to talk to me again. And he's like conflicted. It's like, if I tell the truth, I'm fucked. If I lie, I'm fucked. And so he bangs the God, what is it? What is the thing that you store in the passenger seat?
A dashboard? Or not dashboard, but...
No, not the dashboard. Where's that thing? And like when you're sitting in the passenger seat, you open that thing in front of you.
Center console.
Yeah. He kicks open the inner console, and that's where the map comes out that Goofy has been using to get them to Idaho. So he follows the track, and he's like, oh, there's Los Angeles. And then, like a Deus Ex Machina, the pencil just comes right into Max's hands. And he's like, the pencil is now the devil. And it's like, Do you want to go to
Unless
Los
you meant
Angeles?
glove compartment or glove box.
Yeah, glove
I think-
compartment. That's
Glove
what it is.
Glove
God damn it.
compartment. Okay.
Yeah, so the pencil comes out of the glove compartment too, and like I said, the pencil is the devil. It's like, I will offer you a chance to go to Los Angeles, Max, but you have to make the ultimate price. You have to erase your father's lines on how to actually
The
get to
generation.
Idaho,
Break the
and you have
generation.
to create a new line to Los Angeles. Will you accept will you accept doing this in order to give me your soul? And he's like, yes, I will. So he erases everything, but as soon as he's drawing the line, the pencil breaks. And so he has to take the little sharp end of the pencil, draw it before Goofy wakes up because he's about to start waking up. And he's like, "Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta finish it." And then finally, he gets the glove compartment closed. And Goofy just looks at him. He's like, "How many sugars does it take to get to the moon? 3.5 cups." And then Goofy just falls back asleep. And so he takes the postcard, he rips it up, and then throws it out the window. One of the pieces hangs in the tree, and it's like on the camera shot, it says, "I lied." And the scene just fades to black after that. Scene comes back up, and they're in a roadside diner, which are always like the coolest places to go to when you're on the highway.
Yep.
They don't have them anymore, but they were great when I was driving on the highway back when I used to go to Tennessee and stuff. And Max is feeling absolutely guilty to the bone. Like, he won't even look at his dad. He won't even look at anything. He's just constantly looking at that map. Especially when his food starts getting there. He's not eating his breakfast. Goofy's like, "Oh, pancakes."
I say this, food in fucking cartoons always look fucking delicious.
Yeah, they
They
do.
do. I wanted those pancakes growing up.
Especially in
And
a
now I get them
Scooby
every time I go to a
movie.
diner.
Those look amazing.
Yeah, and what was it? Max got sunny side up eggs that looked like a smiley
Smiley
face.
face. Like, think about it. Look, wasn't that scene from like Mulan where Mushu wakes up Mulan and is like shows up looking at parts and it's happy to see it. Like,
The vengeance will be mine.
like, get out there! You want to make people sick.
Oh, you're up that.
Yeah, so he's not even eating his food. He's just constantly looking at the map, guilty as fuck. And that's when Goofy's like, "All right, Max, we need to talk about the map." I was like, "You need to start taking responsibility around here." And then just stops everybody in the restaurant and says, "Guys, I, Goofy, am going to give my son, Maximilian, to become the official navigator of this here road trip."
Oh God.
And Max is like, what does that mean? He's like, "I'm not even going to look at the map anymore, Max. As far as I'm concerned, you're responsible for getting us from here to Lake Destiny." Oh, great. So there's now even more pressure on Max. Because not
Damn
only
it.
did he completely draw the lines to make it different to go to Los Angeles, now he's the map navigator.
Uh-oh.
And then comes the 90s montage. So the entire montage is them going to like different places across the entire country. Max decides to take him to some places that Goofy would like, because at first they go to a monster truck rally. He hates it. He also tries to take him to a carnival, but Goofy ends up throwing up on the roller coaster. And so so he starts taking them to places that Goofy would like. They both learn how to a mime gets killed on their watch
Oh.
because there was a mime there, and then Goofy started miming, and then he just like cut a rope that was hanging onto a real piano, and the mime dies. He's like, "Well, nothing to see here, Max. Let's get the fuck out of here before we get arrested."
And it's surprised that the police haven't caught them.
Nope.
Ain't that weird?
They go to a bat cave, but then a bunch of bats try to kill them. They end up going to a baseball game, and they end up getting an autograph from like a famous baseball player. And like I said, they finally fixed the tire that was flat. And they go to this Little Mermaid hotel, where it's like an actual waterbed.
Damn. God, I miss those days with the fucking waterbeds.
My
Yeah.
sister had a waterbed.
I actually had a waterbed too. We had one in our den back when I lived in Cali. It was in our
And
den.
then,
It was back in the day. We had a den, and I would like go and outside of my instead of the room, my bedroom. I sometimes would sleep in the den because of the waterbed.
and then they found out it was bad for your back, and then they stopped making them.
Yeah, that's fuck. But I loved them though. It made you feel like you
And
were floating on the water.
they had an aerial lamp in the hotel room, besides the waterbed. And even Goofy was impressed by the dresser. He's like, check out the dresser, coral. I was like, ew, when you say it, it sounds so uncoral. Well, how about if I try it with a different inflection? Coral. Hey, Goofy, don't you have to get out of here? Okay, sorry, Pearl. Have a coral day. And then Pete decides to finally show up.
Hot tub.
I was going to say finally.
In the hot tub, mind you.
Well, no. First, they're like, "Oh, we need to hook up the RV. We have this little tiny extension cord." No, the extension cord is as big as a fucking porn star's dick. And so, and then they order pizza. And so while the boys are eating pizza and talking about changing the map and everything, which Pete overhears, by the way, overhears their conversation as Max is talking about why he decided to change the directions on the map. Then Goofy and Pete are in the hot tub. And I'm like, oh boy, this can go so wrong.
Let me say this. The voice actor of Goofy didn't like this scene very much.
Oh, he didn't like the hot tub?
Yeah, but when he went back and watched it, because he saw how it all connected and stuff, because he didn't like doing that tone with Goofy or something.
Oh, he didn't like the whole seriousness. I don't know. That added a layer to like Goofy's character because, like, okay, Goofy's not all goofy all the time. He's actually like a serious thing.
When he went back and watched it, he understood it was needed.
Oh yeah, of course, because that's what we're about to establish. Because if Pete, like, and Goofy get in the hot tub, I'm like, okay, this can go either one of two ways. This is probably going to be a twink and a bear situation, or. And we all know who's the bear in this situation. And we know who's the twink. Like even Pete like just makes all the water go out of the hot tub because he just like he doesn't go in like slowly. He goes in right away.
People always put too much water in these things. It's like, no, dude, it's because of your build.
And then Goofy goes along, like, hey, I tried taking your advice, and your advice is not working for me. Every time I did it, it just made it worse. So I just did my own thing. And that pisses Pete off. Pete is like, oh, you don't have any problems, huh? Well, let me just pull out my ace that I've been keeping in my poker hand. And he's like, oh, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but your kid's duping you. And he's like, what are you talking about? Well, I overheard him telling PJ that he changed the map, so you're heading straight to L.A., pal. And of course, like, Goofy is like completely shocked on this. Doesn't believe him, which is what you should do. Like, anytime someone gives you a piece of information, like, don't believe them right away. Like, you actually need to have like some solid proof of this. And even Pete is like, check the map, Goof. So Goofy just immediately goes into the car, immediately gets in the driver's seat, and is like, I trusted Max. I said I would not look at the map. I'm not going to look at the map. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I trust Max. I got to trust him. And then he gets frustrated, hits the steering wheel, which opens the glove compartment, which I'm like, oh God, that's a hazard in and of itself. But the map. Oh, he did the exact same thing that the guy with the car horn did.
Holy fucking shit, you guys.
What, Phil?
What?
Sorry. You thought you were going to get a coherent thought, but it's me talking about a Dio cat plush. Sorry. Put it on the Discord.
You thought it was going to be a map inside the glove compartment, but it was me, Dio.
I've turned myself into a cat plush.
Oh God, that is a Dio cat. Oh my God. That's creepy. What's even creepier would be a Diavolo dog. Anyway, so
and JoJo.
So anyway, Goofy hits the steering wheel. The glove compartment opens up. He sees the map, and is completely stunned. Like Goofy is stun locked. Like Goofy can't, like, every time he doesn't even acknowledge anybody else in the room. As soon as he enters the hotel room, he's just got like this stunned look on his face, and he just immediately goes to bed.
Yeah, you can see the soul sucked out of Goofy.
Yep. Goofy is just like nothing, and he's got the same look when he's driving too. And Max is like, "What the fuck is going on here? What's happening here?" And then here comes the Gru de Gras. This is when because Goofy's still doubting what Pete said. Because you'll notice this is a very pivotal scene. This is probably the most important scene in the movie because there's a fork in the road and there's a junction. One goes to LA, one goes to Idaho, which is so perfect. And he's like, "Okay, Navigator Max, you tell me which way to go, left or right." And Max is like, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?" He's like, "Come on, Max, I'm hitting the intersection. Which one do I take?" And this is pivotal because this is going to test Goofy's loyalty to his son. If he goes right, they're going to Lake Destiny and everything is cool. If they go left, they're going to Los Angeles, and everything that Pete confirmed to Goofy would have been true. That Max lied to him, and they're not really going to where they were. Like, his trust is completely broken. And then, of course, Max, being the horny teenager that he is and making the promise to Roxanne, he finally at the last second says, "Left!" Which left is best anyway, so.
You would say
but
that.
after this, Goofy's like angry.
Think about angry. And think of like that one time I posted that meme you'd see.
Just like completely mad. And Max tries to calm him down.
That meme? You remember that meme where it shows like that same reaction?
Mm-hmm. That same one. Goofy gets out of the car, doesn't even bother to put the brakes on.
Damn.
And it's just like standing by the railing, just looking out at the ocean, or at the river, I should say. It's not an ocean, but a river. And Max is trying to explain why he did what he did. He's like, "Oh, why bother? I'm probably too stupid to understand anyway, right?"
Oof.
And then the car, because the brakes are not on, the car starts drifting away, and then they're starting to chase after the car. And he's like, "What did you do now, Max?" He's like, "I didn't do anything, Dad. I only touched it." And now all of a sudden, like the car is like driving down this hill, and they can't get control of the car because the doors are locked. And then Goofy blames Max for locking the door. He's like, "I locked it. It's your door. You locked it." And then all of a sudden they get on these train tracks, and of course Goofy takes the brake handle off, so they can't stop the car. And so the car is constantly going on train tracks. And then it's like, I don't know how they didn't die from this, but the car just jumps on top of these rocks every single time, and they end up falling into the roaring river while inside the car. They're able to magically get out of it, too, because they were inside of it. Max was able to get out, and Goofy was able to get out. And this is a roaring river, too, that's got, like, some riptides on it. And they were able to get on top of the car. And while all this is going on, they're arguing about the whole thing. It's like, "Oh, look what you got us now, Dad. Good job." He's like, what are you talking about?" And then Max is like, "You should have let me just stay at home." "Why? So you will end up in prison?" Like, "Dad, what the fuck are you talking about?" And he's like, "Your principal called me and told me." Wait a minute, that's it? That's the reason that we're on this thing? Because you listened to Principal Mazer? He's like, "That doesn't matter. What matters is you lied to me." "Yeah, of course I fucking lied to you, Dad. Of course I had to. You ruined my fucking life." He's like, "Look, I was only trying to take my boy on a fishing trip, okay?" It was like, "Listen, Dad, I am not a little boy anymore. I'm a grown man." He's like, "Dude, you're 14 years old."
You haven't even got your
But I understand his point. It's like, I'm not a little kid anymore. I got to do my own stuff. I got a life now and I got to live it. And then Goofy finally at the end of and by the way, while they're arguing, they're on a roaring river that's going very fast. So it's like very symbolistic of like their relationship at that point. Because they're on a riverbed that's constantly, it's like a rapids too. It's like if you ever been to a water park and there's always like these dips and like the waves and stuff. They're having this argument as they're going through this riptide current and stuff. And then finally Goofy, to end it before like the riptides end, it just becomes a calm drift. Like Goofy's like, listen, I know that you have a life. I just wanted to be part of it. And that stops the argument. He's like, Max, you're my son. No matter how big you get, you're always going to be my son. And they just stop talking. They just like, they go onto other sides of the car as it's drifting away, and they just like, they sit in silence for a while. And if you're an actor, like this is like probably like if you're an actor and you want to know how to like have an emotional scene, this is one of them. Because Goofy is like, Max is the only thing Goofy has in his life. And he's been trying as much as he can to spend time with his son. Albeit, he should have really just asked Max, like, hey, Max, what do you want to do to really build our bond together? And Max could have come up with so many different things. But instead, Goofy's like, well, I don't want my son to die because the principal told me he was going to die. So I'm going to take him on this fishing trip that my dad took me. I bonded with my dad on this trip. I'll do the exact same one. And Max will bond with me, and then he'll not go to prison. Turns out to not be the case. Max had a terrible time the first time around. In the middle of the trip, it got better. But as soon as the trust was broken, when it finally got to the destination, Goofy was like, everything that I've ever known in my life is a lie. And now he's having to come to this fact that Max is just a different type of person. He's just somebody that wants to be able to do his own thing. He wants to be able to fall in love with girls. He wants to be able to live out his hobbies. Like as a teenage boy, obviously his hobbies will change as time goes on. But right now he's just enjoying being somebody that watches MTV and goes to spring break. Whenever that MTV stuff used to do, he just wants to be involved with that crowd. He wants to be a weekend hippie, and this is not what he signed up for. He does not want to do this stuff with his dad, even though he kind of enjoyed it in the middle. And this was like the pivotal point where their relationship, where it's like, okay, we were vulnerable in our songs. We said everything we needed to say. And now it's time for the apology, and the apology turns into an entire song. And it's about how much they hate each other's generations. It's like, you're an old man, Dad. Yeah, well, you're a jackass. But they say it in a playful singing way. And then after the song is over, because, oh, by the way, did I mention there was a whirlpool involved in the song that didn't destroy them? But apparently, anyway. So Max finally admits to Goofy, it's like, hey, listen, so I asked Roxanne out, then we went on this trip, and now I told her this extravagant lie, and now she's going to find out that, you don't know Powerline and stuff. She's not going to go out with me again. My life is a miserable wreck. And then Goofy, being the father that he is, says, you know what we need to do? Let's go to Los Angeles and let's get you on stage with this Powerline fella. It's like, wait. We're actually really doing it? Yep. You decided to go with the lie? We're going to live out the lie to its fullest. Oh, Dad, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know. This is going to be a disaster. No, thank you. It's like, Max, where are you going to grow a set of balls? Son, we need to start. You wanted to be a man? You said you wanted to be a man, right? You wanted to be on your own? Well, God damn it. It's time for you to make the big decisions. You told a lie, now you got to live through it. Let's go.
Yeah, basically go
I always wanted to go on stage.
Imagine Goofy saying, I'll make a man out of you from Mulan.
God damn it,
I will make a man out of you.
Get down the business.
Hold on. Let me pull up the lyrics for that song really quick. Hold on. Let me do it in the Goofy voice.
No! Please, no!
Hold on. It's happening.
No!
Goofy. My Goofy.
I hate you, Circus. I hate you so goddamn much.
Oh, you're welcome, sweetie. I know you love me.
Listen, the guy in the goofy voice in my head is telling me, if you don't do this, you're not man enough. Anyway, let's get down to business. Sorry, that's the only thing I'll do.
Aww.
To defeat the Pete's. I'm not saying the Huns because it's the Pete's.
Yeah.
Did they send me a daughter when I asked for a son? This thing writes itself. You're the I can't even do it anymore. I'm just laughing at the lyrics. You're the saddest punch I ever met. Goofy General. Makes no goddamn sense, but it's so funny.
Exactly.
Oh, God. Anyway, getting back to this. So, okay, so after they have this conversation, a giant Gyarados comes out of the water and creates this giant waterfall. I wish that would have happened, but no, there was no sea monster that evolved from a giant carpfish.
Well, think about this before Pokemon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like a couple of years before Pokemon came out. But yeah, there's a giant waterfall at the end, and it's like, oh shit, how are we going to get out of this? So Goofy gets off of the car, but Max is trapped on the car as it's going down the waterfall. So Goofy has to try to use the fishing pole to try to capture Max, but doesn't work. So Goofy then has to travel even further down the river to try to get him. And Max is about... And he falls off the waterfall, but Max ended up having a parachute the whole time. And I'm like, how did that happen? Meanwhile, Goofy gets... And Goofy gets caught in the current and grabs Goofy before he starts to fall. But then ultimately, like, the grip breaks and then Goofy falls to his death.
No, he doesn't.
Well, that's the way it would have ended if they wanted to go a darker route. But no, Max just does the perfect cast routine and then just reels Goofy in before he falls to his death.
I think it's like that would have been like that, that one to be continued from JoJo.
That would have been a good meme for that. Why didn't they do that?
Someone probably did a video edit like that.
Like as soon as Max loses his grip on a Goofy, which is what my dun 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 dun.
And then you hear Fallout roundabout by Yes, please.
I'll be around about.
Yeah, I'm gonna look.
I'm surprised they didn't sing that song when they were driving, because that's a perfect driving song. Spent the day your way. Max, your music sucks. So anyway, Max reels Goofy in, and he's like so proud of his son. He's like, you just did the perfect cast. And they hug while they're parachuting, which is unrealistic.
Right?
But hey, we'll let them have this moment because it's a movie.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck? No, I don't want to look at that.
What are you looking at, Sylph?
I looked to see if this is if they did the parody, and apparently one of the recommended videos was relaxing skincare routine, cleansing for a peaceful mind.
What the hell are we watching?
Well, I've now gone to being a movie star to now selling skincare. Listen, when I was on the set of the Goofy movie, the actor Max and I, we were just getting chafing skin being out in a hot summer day. So one of the things that we both did was we put on this skincare product. I used to lather myself up with this in the shower.
Oh my
Max
God.
The actor who played Max was like, Goofy, can you get out? It's time for me to get in the shower. He's like, sorry, Max's actor. I got to make sure that my skin is clear and perfect.
Actually, the guy who did Max's voice was that one best friend off of Boy Meets World in the early days of Eric.
Doesn't he play like Sonic's surrogate father in the movies?
I don't know.
Isn't that the same guy? Because I swear it's the same guy.
I don't know. I know he was like all over fucking like 90s media growing up.
But anyway,
Let me look at this guy. What his voice actor.
But anyway, so they get to Los Angeles for the concert. They sneak in, try to get him on stage, and they lose track of each other because Goofy's all excited to get him on stage, and Max is reluctant. Then he sees two hot women pass by him. He's like, "Oh, let's do it."
And
they try to find,
dude.
Yeah, and they try finding each other, but they can't find each other. And then Goofy opens the door, and there's like a naked woman in the dressing room. And that's where that infamous
other meme comes in. The other meme.
And that's where that Goofy meme comes in.
Jason Marsden is the voice actor of this.
Yeah, I think that's the guy that plays Sonic's surrogate father in the movies.
Let me look that up for you.
And I think he also plays Cyclops in like the Young X-Men.
I'm looking it up. Dude, he's been in a bunch of shit.
Yep, that's probably him. So yeah, that's where that movie thing comes up. Goofy, like the naked woman kicks him out of the room, and then ultimately sends him in one of like Powerline's gimmicks because it's like that one thing where like Powerline is like stuck in a light bulb and the light bulb explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Goofy gets trapped in that same one.
That is pretty fucking cool, though, dude.
Yeah, well, it sucks for Goofy because he gets electroshocked like Pikachu.
I like it how when he was still backstage when he looked at the woman and that face he made for grabbing his face.
Yep. Meanwhile, Max is getting chased by a security guard throughout the entire thing. But he sees Goofy get shocked up on the stage, and Powerline is like, "Who is this Goofy person?" And then Max is like, Dad, do the perfect cast. And so Goofy starts dancing to like the perfect cast off. And Powerline's like, okay, this guy's got skill. Let's keep dancing. Meanwhile, security, if this were real life, security would have been all over it. But then Max finally gets on the stage after the security guard, like, they're up in the skylights, mind you. So they end up like swinging on a rope, and the security guard like hits the Titantron, which makes Max like slide onto the stage in like a cool way. And Powerline's like, well, I'll just go with this.
He's like, oh, well, you gotta get what the people want.
Yep. And now he's dancing with Powerline and his dad. And there's Roxanne like cuddled over in the corner, all like shy and like smiling and everything.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Bobby's like, hey, it's the Maxter. Yeah, so the concert ends really well for them.
And there's also that one scene though with like while they're dancing, and then Bobby and Stacy kind of do that same thing as Max and Roxanne did beforehand at Mazur's office.
But it's like Cheese Whiz instead.
Yes.
And I don't know how Goofy's cars survived that waterfall, but they're able to travel in that from Los Angeles all the way back to Ohio. That thing's about to die.
Meanwhile.
It does.
Yep.
I mean, yes, it does explode at the end, but like they reach Roxanne's house. And he's like, okay, son, it's about to go time that you get your balls and you tell her the truth. I was like, I know, Dad, but she'll never talk to me again. Son, here's the thing. She may never talk to you again, okay? You have to just accept that, Max. Listen, women sometimes are just going to say, fuck you. They're just going to say, fuck you. All right? You're just going to have to embrace the fact that she may just say, fuck you, kick you in the balls. And if she does kick you in the balls, you're just going to have to accept the fact that your balls got kicked in, and you're just going to have to take the pain like a man, okay? So,
apparently Goofy
listen.
met me.
Goofy met you.
I don't know you.
Yeah.
That's my purse.
Oh God, I love when we're going back to. I was actually rewatching our video, the Saints Row 4 one.
Where Sophus was punching everybody in their sexual organs.
Yes,
That's so bad.
I am protecting my area just in case Sylph gets mad in real life and then sees me in real
I
life
wouldn't
and then
do
just
that in
does it.
real life. It's only funny if it's like in a pretend situation.
But basically like in a video game situation, Joe.
But what if I was in a video game? What if I all of a sudden was like Jimmy Neutron episode where they all got sucked into the Ultra Lord game?
I don't know.
Now you're contemplating it.
I think Sylph's brain's buffering right now for like the AOL dial tone.
Just teasing.
Yeah, we love you too, Joe.
Mm-hmm. So Max has to take the walk of shame up to Roxanne's house. And the walk of shame ends up with naked dad who's wearing the shower stuff. He's like, "Hi, you remember me?" Just closes the door right in front of him.
And Roxanne's like, "Daddy."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, Max, you were great on TV. Oh my god!" And he's like, "Okay, let me get the truth out, Roxanne. I lied to you. I don't even know Powerline. I never met him before the concert." He's like, "Wait, you just made up that entire story? Why would you do that?" Well, I just wanted you to like me. He's like, "Max, look at me." I was like, "Yeah, what is that?" "I have liked you since the first goddamn time I saw you. You know what? You were laughing in front of me with your That's when I had a crush on you. Since that moment, when you were yourself and you were vulnerable and you were just being you. That's what I loved about you. That's why I had a crush on you. I didn't care about all this exotic stuff that you're trying to make yourself out to be. Fuck that noise." And Max is like,
and she kicked them in the balls.
Oh, you would have hoped.
Yeah.
And then she's like, "Okay, let's go on a date." And he's like, "Oh, yes. Oh, wait, I can't. I'm going on I have to do stuff with my dad. I mean, our car is broken. We haven't checked up on the house in like a month. We have to pay bills. How about we have a date tomorrow?" And he's like, "Okay, deal." Puts out her hand to shake his hand. And Max does the most gross thing ever, just kisses her.
Ugh.
Which, I don't know if... look, we talked about Roxanne kissing him without any consent. Now he's doing the same thing.
And here comes Goofy. Through the
Yeah.
Well, no. The thing is... Well, first of all, he laughs like Goofy when he does it. Because she laughs nervously. And I think this was the moment in the movie where she was like, "Okay, this is not going to work out with Max." Because we never see her again.
Actually, you do in the House of Mouse.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
that in the lore? Or is that an alternate timeline?
I feel like an alternate timeline to me.
House of Mouse.
Hold on, I'm gonna look this up.
Feels like an alternate timeline because
House
of Mouse coming like right around the time of after an extreme Goofy movie.
All right, Roxanne appears in the episode Max's Embarrassing Date, taking place at some point after an extremely goofy movie on Max's night off from work.
See?
So wait, so I'm trying to contemplate how this story ends. So he goes on an embarrassing date with her before the second.
That's the name of the episode.
Oh, okay. So I don't even know.
But I know she did appear, but like later on, they made another skit of Max, but he was with another girl, bringing her home for Christmas during Mickey's Once Upon a Time. So I know.
Okay, so they didn't end up together. So they should have just ended it right there. They should have just kicked him in the balls and then just put "the end" right on the credits.
According to the Disney Wiki, they're dating, but like...
Oh, no.
But it doesn't go into any detail other than that.
I just know this. We haven't seen this bitch in like over 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh, no, she had an appearance in the DuckTales reboot. And,
well, like any of us saw that.
I'm sure some Goofy movie fans saw it and kept up with the lore and stuff.
Kept us out of the loop.
Which episode aired 5 years ago.
Oh, so during the pandemic, okay. So it was like one of those deals.
Picture of them, I guess they went to prom together.
Ooh, they're big.
Okay. Well, this was still in high school, I'm guessing. Because by the time he went to college, Roxanne was out of the picture. So this is probably like a midquel or something. But anyway, to end the movie, Goofy is like standing in front of the car. The car explodes, and he crashes through Roxanne's roof. And that's like Goofy's first introduction to Roxanne.
Enchanté.
Mademoiselle. And I'm like, okay, now Goofy's in Beauty and the Beast. He's like, be our guest, be our guest, be our service to the taste.
What the?
Come on, Max, we got to replace Miss Potts and Chip. We got to be the new teapots.
The ever-ending question: whatever happened to Goofy's wife? I heard she died in a car accident.
That's one rumor. Also, what happened to Pete's wife and daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
we
never
haven't
brought them
seen
back
them
from
since
the
Goof
show.
Troop. Yeah, we haven't even seen them since Goof Troop.
Maybe it's because his daughter's name is Pistol.
Probably not the best thing to name the. There is no explanation on how she died.
It's
Or
like,
if she
what?
died.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on a second. They're
Also, he's a widower.
fucking Wikipedia. I mean, not the Wikipedia. The someone asked on the Goofy movie director on Twitter about what happened. Hold on, where the fuck is it?
Oh, somebody asked, why is Roxanne not an extremely goofy movie on Google? And they said, the film's focus on Max's college life and the animator's difficulty translating Roxanne's hair for CG animation.
Oh.
So they couldn't CG her hair, so that's why she was not in the movie.
Alright, so two different tweets here. First one, someone asked, at Goofy Movie DIR, was Max's mom ever present or talked about in the Goofy movies? And then Kevin Lima replied, we talked about Max's mother casually, but there's never been any conclusive evidence on who or what she might be. And then someone wrote, so let me get this straight. You guys were talking about who Max's mom was when creating the film. A lot of people are speculating that she passed away in a car crash. And then the guy replied, the director replied to that, it's all speculation. There is no concrete answer to this question.
God damn, the world may never know. Just like, how many licks does it take to get the center of a Tootsie Pop?
The world would never know.
No, the answer is 3. So there's no way of knowing. As far as we know, Goofy was the Virgin Mary.
No, wife ran off with the milkman.
Dude, Goofy had a fucking wife in the early fucking cartoons.
A human-looking wife.
I mean...
Hey, listen, Goofy does not discriminate.
I mean, like... I get that. Love is love, but, like, this is... So...
Listen, if there could be a love scene between a gargoyle and a human in the Gargoyles TV show, it could be the same thing here.
Hey, see, Roger and Jessica.
Fair enough.
Not only that, let's talk about motherfucking Beauty and the Beast. I mean, she fell in love with a beast.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it could be worse. You know that one series, one anime series where, like, all the guys are, like, furry type anthropomorphic animals, and, like, the ladies of the species are, like, human women with, like, vague animal features. What, you don't know about this?
No.
No?
Do I want to know about this?
I don't think Kelly wants to know about this.
This sounds like somebody that that one wrestling promoter would do if he got away with it.
Hold on. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like... I'll let you know if I remember.
Why do I think of Animorphs when you're talking about this?
Oh, so I thought it was. Doesn't it also make me think of like the one movie called Wolf Children?
Mm-hmm.
Or what was it? Michael J. Fox's Teen Wolf. I don't know.
We don't know. The world may never know.
All we
It's
know-
like the Tootsie Pop situation.
All we know is that Max becomes an X Games person in the sequel, and it doesn't matter because Goofy finds love in that movie, and they get
And then
married.
He disappears.
Well, there was no reason for me to do another movie.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we could have done a third movie, but what were we gonna do?
Relatable.
Becomes a resort.
Ow!
And the sequel
no.
went straight to VHS anyway, so they made it seem like they weren't going to make any money doing that in the theaters. Although my favorite line in the sequel was like Bobby's just at the jazz bar and he's just looking at his hands like, do you ever notice why we're always wearing gloves?
Yeah.
Hey, he's being self-aware.
And breaking the fourth wall.
That's why we always love fourth wall breaks, because they're always so fucking funny.
Well, yeah. So 30 years of the Goofy movie. People remember it. I was on my dinner date beforehand, and I was talking with her, and she was like, "Oh my god, I haven't seen that movie in years. It's like an underrated movie."
Mm-hmm.
And you've even told her about us too about it.
No, I said I was live streaming after the date was over. So, yeah, that's it. Wow, and we actually completed the movie in 2 hours. We probably talked about it even longer than the movie.
We were on time.
You know, the kind of thing that, you know, when you do film reviews, and this was not even a film review, it was like a celebration of some kind, but you know, there are people that will do movie reviews, and these reviews will be longer than the movie itself because it's just them ranting for 2 hours.
Right.
Yeah. But with us,
we all have good nostalgia experience with this damn movie. I mean,
yeah, we do.
Most of us were kids when it came out.
Indeed.
I was 4 when it came out in the theater.
I think I was 2.
At Circus, I think we were like, what, 6 or 7?
Yeah.
Sylph was just a little baby going, I am so great. I am so great.
And me and Mooney's just entering school.
We were.
I was in preschool.
Me getting in trouble for stupid shit. Oh. It makes me feel nostalgic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know you said you wanted to do the thing for Wednesday.
Yeah, we still need to come up with that stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, I know the 3 of you decided to come up with that on your own, so I was like, okay, let's do it.
You always just have to look up different types of commercials, like, let's see, like, from other cultures, maybe. I know that we love the Japanese one, especially the Long Long Man, because Circus was all up on it.
Because I watched it recently. Can we just go back and watch it again? It was so funny.
I remember we did like a reaction one before the reboot, and Joey was just like, what the hell was going on during all of that?
Joey was laughing his ass off. And I think we did it after the show.
I'm trying to find one where we won't get copyrighted.
A lot of YouTubers been watching The Long Long Man without
getting copyright striked. Yeah.
Okay, well, there's a YouTube channel called Japan Thing that has like commercials from like different years and stuff.
Oh yeah.
I keep telling Mooney we need to get some like those Ronald McDonald commercials because the fucking Ronald McDonald guy looks crazy, look weird to me.
We
there's
definitely need
and there are
the
even
Animal
some like the ones for like the Pocky commercials and stuff like that too.
I don't know, but I need to sit. I don't have time this weekend to sit down and try to find commercials. Maybe when the week days get here.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I've got so much to do tomorrow and the next day.
Yeah, and I work this weekend.
Well, we got a couple of days to figure it out, or
Indeed.
what you want to do with that. So we'll leave it there. All right, folks, we're gonna end the show for right now. Still trying to figure out when we're gonna get this computer fixed, or not fixed, but get a completely new one that's like going like ultrasonic fast.
Gotta go
But
fast.
until then, we're just gonna keep doing StreamYard streams like this until we get the act together, until the computer is ready to go and stuff. So until then, thank you for watching tonight. We'll be back on Wednesday, and yeah, we will do all the algorithm shit if you really like the goofy stuff. And yeah, we'll catch you later. All right.
Bye.
Good night.
Everyone,
Good
Enjoy your weekend.
night.